An event of profound importance for the English exiles occurred in 1558. Just 5 years after she was crowned Queen of England in 1553, Mary Tudor died. It was the tragic end of a life embittered by the changes that had taken place in the Church of England. Mary's half-sister Elizabeth was enthroned early in 1558 as Queen Elizabeth I. One thing was certain: England was to be a Protestant, not a Catholic nation. Parliament enacted 2 laws defining Elizabeth's relationship with the Church of England. The first was the Act of Supremacy, by which she was named as the supreme governor of the English Church. The second, the Act of Uniformity, required uniformity of worship and clerical dress. Elizabeth desired a comprehensive church in which all English subjects, whether Catholic or Protestant, were to be members. She was determined to do this in face of challenges, both internal and external. There was a sizable remnant of Englishmen, especially in the North, who steadfastly remained Roman Catholic. There were tensions within the Church of England, as many of the returning exiles wished to incorporate what they considered to be essential changes in the worship of the Church. They desired to rid the English Church completely from what they termed the rooks of popery. There were others who felt that the rate of change occurred too slowly and, frustrated with not reaching their objectives, were prepared to separate. In addition to the internal tensions, there were extended challenges and dangers from Scotland, France, and Spain. These challenges would have a great impact on the acceptance and use of the Geneva Bible. When the news arrived concerning the death of Mary and the accession of Elizabeth to the throne, a number of exiles returned to England. Many returned to assume important positions in the church, while others sought to continue the work of Reformation. John Knox, the pastor of the English church, returned to Scotland. However, several of the exiles remained in Geneva. Whittingham, Thomas Sampson, Anthony Gilby, John Bodley, and others completed the work on a new translation of the Bible. William Whittingham was the moving force behind this Bible. Although he was the translator of the Geneva New Testament, it was not taken word for word into the Geneva Bible New Testament, although it was used as its textual base. Anthony Gilby, one of the greatest Hebrew scholars of the age, was the main editor of the Old Testament books, which included the Apocrypha. Every available resource was utilized to produce the most accurate translation. These resources included the Stephanus Greek New Testaments of 1550 and 1551, the Latin editions of Stephanus, Beginus, and Leo Judd. Special attention was given to the French Bible of 1535 and reprinted in 1556 for its notes. In summary, all available critical and linguistic resources were utilized to make the Geneva Bible the most accurate translation possible. Several of the features that were incorporated in the Geneva New Testament of 1557 were carried over to the Geneva Bible, including the use of Roman type, words not in the original text printed in italics, versification throughout the Old and New Testaments, and others. However, there were decided improvements in the Geneva Bible. First was its size. It was not printed in the large folio editions, as were the Coverdale, Matthews, and Great Bibles, it utilized the quarto size, which increased portability and ease for personal study. It was the first English Bible translated and revised by a committee. Many of the former Bibles were the work of individuals who were forced to work alone or with just another person, and with the constant threat of discovery. It was the first English Bible completely translated from the original languages of the Old and New Testaments, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. All previous editions of the English Bible contained some material that had been translated from German and Latin. It was a translation done by outstanding biblical scholars. We have briefly mentioned the qualifications of Whittingham, Gilby, and others. These individuals were among the most skillful in Europe. In summary, it was a masterful translation and based on the principles followed by William Tyndale. It was the first English study Bible. While the discussion of its notes would require a book in itself, it is true to say that while the notes carried overtones of what was called Calvinism, their basic purpose was not intended to teach a system of theology, but to provide an understanding of the text. This was a Bible, to use the words of a contemporary scholar, that invited study. Features such as the use of Roman type, versification, italicized words to give the full meaning of the text, and others were there both to attract and sustain the interest of the reader. The notes enabled the reader to discern the true meaning of the text, or in Tyndale's words, to see the progress, order, and meaning of the text. These helps were added to the most accurate translation of the biblical text itself.